Whether you're buying or selling your home, get the benefit of expertise.
Hey, well, compliments to the show. You're really hitting on the subjects and you're telling the truth. I appreciate you.
Meet the team at dangemis.com. And now, filling in for Dan Gemis, your host, Joyce Blackmere.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining us this lovely, warm, steamy Sunday afternoon. I'm Joyce Blackmere, Director of Sales and Broker with the Dan Gemis team, and I have Aaron Blackmere, Sales Rep with the team, joining me today. Hello, hello.
Hello.
And we also have the amazing Patrice Surrett from Goldmar Property Management joining us as well on the line. Hi, Patrice.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Great.
Awesome. How are you?
Good. Enjoying the weather. I'm sitting outside.
Yeah, I was going to say you love the sun, so you must be loving this.
The sun. Definitely.
I'm hiding from it.
Oh no.
We like not to be in the sun for extended periods of time. But yes, you just got back from Mexico. Was it Mexico? Yeah,
Yep,
nice.
Mexico. Yep. It was very nice.
Awesome.
It was very hot.
All tanned.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw you the other day.
Love
You're
the
looking.
sun, Aaron.
You look very nicely tanned the other day when I saw
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so Patrice, you have some tips for us with regard to a move-in inspections.
Yes.
I guess move-out inspections are important
Both.
too.
Yeah, both. But if you think about, just establishing, I guess, best practices is a good way to say it, right? To establish your beginning of your tenant as just as important as an application and gathering all those things, their ID, their, everything you can get on the tenant before you start the tenancy. When you do a move-in inspection, and you can create your own form, just something that both parties can sign, right? And it should be as detailed as you can. Because what you're going to try and do is not rely on your memory 2 years from now when your tenant moves out. Like, did I paint that? Was that broken before? Anything like that. You want to start the tenancy by going through, having both sides agree to exactly the condition of that house or the apartment of what you're handing over to them, right? So it goes both ways, too. For a tenant, not every unit gets painted brand new when they move in, right? So any existing scuffs, if there's a little hole in the wall because the doorknobs maybe pushed through a little bit, things like that, you should be noting that as a tenant, so both sides acknowledge that's already there, right? So that there's no question later of who's responsible for that. Is that just existing wear and tear? Sorry, is that existing, or is it wear and tear through the tenancy? Or at the end, is that deliberate neglect of the unit? And if you don't have the beginning of it set up where you've, established what that start point is, how do you know 2 years from now, right? Mm-hmm. So if a tenant completely destroys your apartment, your house, something like that, the only chance you have to kind of get that money back, going to small claims or collections, you have to prove what the beginning was. You have to have pictures. You have to have something signed that is acknowledging either existing damages or that it's been, on the other side, brand new, right? Brand new kitchen, just build a basement apartment. Everything's brand new. So you do that inspection, you record, brand new 2024, brand new paint, brand new this, brand new lighting, right? So that you're establishing that. Both parties sign it, date it, and you just tuck it away in your file. When they move out, you bring that same report out and you do another column, and it shows the existing damages or not, hopefully, right, of what they're moving out.
So would regular wear and tear need to be on that list?
Like from starting or when they're
well, I would say
out?
Like let's say the house or apartment, whatever it is relatively renovated. It's new. It's very clean. There's no damage. They've painted. But the tenants lived there for 2 or 3 years and taken great care of it. But there's some wear and tear. There may be, I don't know, maybe there is a slight indent in the wall by the time they're done from the door handle or something along those lines. Is that stuff that the tenant's responsible for at the end of the tenancy?
At the end of the tenancy, I mean, it would be great if everyone, and some are, when they leave, they do their own patches if they have, or, we usually say, like, if you paint it back to the color it was when they get there, right? Mm-hmm. But not everyone does, and not everyone's even capable to do it. What you have to establish as a landlord is, okay, so there's some scuff marks because their couch was too close in the living room, right?
Yes.
I have that because my couch just rubs on the wall. Right? So I have
same with us.
darker, right? So is that excessive wear and tear? or excessive damage? No, that's just living. You have to expect some sort of damage to occur, some sort of wear and tear to occur on your house, your apartment, your walls during their tenancy. It's not going to be exactly how you gave it to them when, right? What we have
So
to
within
determine
reason.
is within reason, right? They live there. They're going to hang pictures. It's their home, right?
Right.
But if they're hanging it with picture hooks, that's different than you come in and there's these great big anchors in the wall and they've been hanging bikes from the ceiling, and
Right.
that's deliberate damage, right? But the flip side of that is you really have to establish those damages. How are you going to get the money back, right? So you've got all your paperwork and stuff. You have to determine the value of that money that you're basically going to chase them for, because there's going to be an expense to you, right? Whether you're going to go through LTV to get damages, send them to collections, there's still costs involved. So for scuff marks, little wear, how much are you paying? It's your time, right? But is it worth it if it's a couple $100? Probably not, right?
Right.
These are really establishing your start point and hoping that they leave it like that. Worst case, they do some deliberate damage. They break your fridge shelves. Those are expensive, right, to replace. Or they do something, they've had a fire and they didn't report it, so they've got, all sorts of damage. So those are the ones that it'd be worth going after them, because that is extensive repairs that you're going to have to do and incur the cost.
Now, do you find, Patrice, just a quick question, by doing this, that if there is more damages to the property, by recording it, taking pictures, that the tenants are more likely to say, okay, I'm going to settle up with you rather than going to court?
Good question.
Yep. I mean, and that's the thing, the whole point to do, like, as much as you want to meet them on a move-in inspection, it's easier because they have to get the keys from you, right? So they're forced to do that with you. On the move-out, it's important to try and set that same thing up and explain to them, listen, we're going to do this so that both parties are satisfied of how we're leaving this apartment and how this tenancy is ending. Because, and, if you encourage them by saying, listen, like, your landlords in the future are going to call me, right?
That's
I mean,
right.
I am a part of your history now. So if it's a couple $100, then come up with an agreement, right? Or do it a little bit earlier. Sometimes when people give notice, we'll go in, they give 60 days, we'll go in 15 days later and just to have a quick look at it to see if there's a lot that we need to address. So we still have 45 days while they live there to try and get them to A, rectify it, right? Or B, have an action plan with the landlord. Like, what are we going to do about this, right?
Makes sense. Makes total sense.
So sometimes, a couple of days before they even move out, you could go back and check in and say, you know what, I'm going to need you to touch up this wall. You can give them the paint because you'll know your paint color, right? And if it's been a good tenancy, chances are they will. Or, like you said, they'll settle up on a certain amount that you can negotiate, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
That's really important information. It really sets the tone too. It makes it a professional start, a professional finish.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and I
like
would
that.
say just to that, Joyce, is that even if you're renting to a friend or a family, you should still do it.
Yeah.
You know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean?
100%. Yep.
It's still a landlord-tenant relationship at the end of the day, and things go sideways sometimes. So you want to protect yourself on either side of that relationship, because you should also, as a tenant, feel good about how the landlord is saying that they're giving you this apartment, right? Because if you move out and all of a sudden they're like, oh, you stole my fridge and you wrecked this and you did that. No, I didn't, right? Like, you can equally take your own pictures as a tenant, right?
Right.
Take your
Yeah,
starting
protect yourself.
and ending photos. Absolutely. I do, right? Even when I sell a house, right? I always take pictures when I leave so that if there's ever the new owner comes back and says, oh, no, it wasn't, right? Like, and here's how it was cleaned, and you guys have sold one of my houses, right?
Yep,
and,
that's right.
And I take pictures on the way out, right? And I'm like, absolutely not. Like, I will absolutely establish the end of my ownership, tenancy, whatever, for my own documentation, because, again, 2 years from now, how are you going to remember that, right?
That's right.
And Patrice, your
So-
place looked great, so no worries.
Thank you.
Patrice, if people have questions about property management, tenancy arrangements, landlord, getting set up as a landlord, how can they reach you?
You can reach us at the office, 519-252-5010, or online at goldmar.ca. We have some landlord information there. You can fill out a form if you want to book a time to have a talk, or if you have questions about your existing tenants, you have a vacancy, we can definitely help you out with any of those.
Yes, and you're awesome. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. We appreciate
All
you
right. Enjoy your
joining
weekend.
us today. Go back out there and enjoy the hot weather.
I will. Thank you.
Thanks, Patrice.
Thanks, Patrice. That was Patrice Surrett, property manager from Goldmar Property Management in Windsor. We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we're giving away a gift card to the Richmond Popcorn Company. We're going to take caller number 7 today, 519-792-2559. 519-792-2559. That is caller number 7 to be eligible to win a gift card to the Richmond Popcorn Company. Still more to come here on the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show.